You're a nasty, trashy, sleazy, classless, nasty, put some clothes on, I told ya. Finally, we've come to the last book-related prompt, and I am through the roof because we are talking about, books that would have book purists, the book elitists, shaking their heads and wondering, what on earth are we reading? And I've been looking forward to making this recommendation video. Like, this is honestly one of my absolute favorite because I went to town on this recommendation, starting with Captivated by Centaurs, a Centaur erotica bundle by Alara, Branwen, and Christie Sims, which, yes, we're turning up our noses at book elitism when I kick things off with a book like Captivated by Centaurs, which features, you guessed it, centaurs and the women who have the desire for these centaurs. They have this sexual desire that they know that only a centaur can fulfill adequately, because we all know what is said about centaurs. They hung. Yeah, baby? Yeah, they are hung. So yeah, 11 short stories in a bind-up novella. We are not expecting grade A quality writing or plot or characters, because with a title like that, you're not really looking for character arcs, are you? No, you want the smut. So yeah, Centaur erotica, everybody. You're welcome. Especially you, Tati. You're very much welcome. I got you, girl. I got you. Next up is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, because, come on, let's be real. We can't be talking cheesy, tropey YA and not bring up the book that gave us, vampires glittering in the sun. I can't love you because I want to drink your blood. Oh, Edward. Oh, Bella. Hello, side note, Jacob. Like, come on. It's Twilight. It is Twilight. And for those of you that are wondering that, hold up, I'm mentioning Twilight with the Twilight fan fiction, also known as 50 Shades of Grey. Wouldn't make it to this list? No, because I already mentioned it in my slut shaming video, and like I said, I'm trying to give you a wide range of books to choose from, so you can also pick from that. But anyway, it also works for this prompt. But back to Twilight, right? Midnight Sun is coming soon, and I know some of you all are like Twilight fans, so if you've been planning a reread, consider this your lucky break, because all the 4 Twilight books fit this prompt to a T. And for those of you that are, I don't know, have no idea what Twilight is about, it's about a teenage girl who moves to another town to be with her father, and while she's there, she discovers mysteries, werewolves, and vampires, one of whom she falls in love with, and several of whom really want to drink her blood. So yeah, that is Twilight for you, everybody. Of course, it's going to make this list. Then there is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. For those of you that just went all, I clutch my pearls, Noria, the Da Vinci Code? The Da Vinci Code is considered trashy? Apparently it is, especially by Stephen Fry, who considers that book as gravy of the worst kind. And like, I guess all the historical and religious inaccuracies really got to him, but we are not picking up this book for accuracy, we're picking it up for entertainment. So yeah, I can understand why Stephen Fry would consider this book diarrhea, but that is the reason why it makes the list. Because when it is that someone compares a book to shit, literal shit, it has to make the list. Now, for those of you that are like, what is the Da Vinci Code about? Which I'm over here looking at you like, you've never heard of the Da Vinci Code? Seriously? Seriously? Anyway, it's a judgment-free zone. I'm not judging. Anyway, for those that do not know, the Da Vinci Code follows Robert Langdon and Sophie Novieux, who team up to puzzle out a series of codes that are left in various Leonardo da Vinci paintings in order to uncover a historic secret. What is the historic secret? You want to know? Read the book. Another book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm going to admit, I was not a fan of book 2, Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Hated it. But not gonna lie, Children of Blood and Bone is YA trope of like, it's tropey YA, the way tropey YA is meant to be, and it has all the tropes we love, you know, chosen one trope, characters going on a journey, enemies to lovers, queer baiting, princesses that you love whose characters are absolutely assassinated, whose character arcs are absolutely assassinated by book 2. You know, the good stuff. But in all seriousness, I did enjoy Children of Blood and Bone when I read it. I would not say it's 5-star worthy reading, but if you're looking, right, at this prompt, at the fuck book elitism prompt, you're not necessarily looking for the height of literary fiction, are you? So let's get back to that. I did enjoy Children of Blood and Bone. I binged it in a day. Actually binged it in a night, because I remember I started reading it like in the evening, and I did not sleep all night. I read that book all night from like, I started at 5 and I read it all the way till 10, 11 a.m. the next day. So I binged it. I did enjoy it. So if you're interested in traveling through the pages of a book into the world of Orisha and following a young girl whose fights to restore magic to the land, then you might consider picking this up. I did warn you though, because it is my responsibility to warn you that book 2, book 2. Next up is The Wicked Plus the Divine Volume 1, which is the Faustus Act by Kieron, Gillen, and James McKelvie. Now, for those of you who might not know this, and I'm giving you this information because you need to know this, for those of you that do not know, a lot of book purists don't consider comic books. You know, they think they're just pictures with a couple of words. I know. Seriously. Book purists, people, they're not very smart, are they? But anyway, lots of book purists do not consider comic books. They think they're just picture books with pictures. So if you are, get this, if you have any comic book on your list, it will work for this. Bonus point, if any of the books you pick for the fuck book elitism prompt, if any of them are like on audio, because you know that book purists also do not consider audiobooks a form of reading. We love to give them double fuck yous in this house. So if you pick any of this book and you have them on audio, bonus points for listening to them on audio, like all the bonus points. Anyway, back to The Wicked Plus the Divine, which is a comic I absolutely adore, because you see, in this comic, the gods are born every age, and before the end of said age, they die. They die and they are reborn again in the next age to repeat the cycle. So every 90 years, the gods are reborn to die at the end of the age. And right now, we are in the present age. And yeah, the time bomb is ticking. Lucy has already set things in motion. And I absolutely adore this comic. Now, I would state that it's a bit slow to get into. It can be very confusing because this is a wide pantheon of gods. These are gods cut across multiple different mythologies, right? So it's a bit confusing it's a bit slow going, entering it, but once you pick up the story, once you know who the gods are, and I encourage you to read it, if anything, to puzzle out which god is what god, and it's just, I love this comic. I absolutely love this comic. And the artwork in this comic is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's also queer as fuck. So, The Wicked Plus the Divine. Like, of course, any comic works for this, but I'm picking Wicked Plus the Divine. I would have picked Sandman, but you all know how much I love Sandman on this channel. So, I was just like, Sandman is the obvious choice because Sandman is one of my favorite comics of all time. So, The Wicked Plus the Divine, people. The Wicked Plus the Divine. Next up is Wallbanger. Wallbanger by Alice Clayton, where we follow Caroline, who has finally moved into a dream apartment. Like, my sis is living her good life. She's wanted this apartment for like forever. As someone that spent months house hunting before I found my present apartment, I understand how hard she must have looked to get the perfect apartment. Turns out that the perfect apartment is not so perfect because it comes with a very imperfect neighbor. A neighbor who loves to have sex. A lot of sex. Very, very loud sex. And Caroline is not getting any. So what is our sexually frustrated heroine to do? She walks over to her neighbor's house in this baby pink nightie to tell him to cut it out. What proceeds is a wallbanger. What? Did you really think the title was metaphorical? Of course not. And I'm certain I don't need to state that this book also works with the fox slut shaming prompts. So you're welcome. Now, we cannot talk tropey YA, right, without bringing the OG Angels versus Fallen Angels book. That is Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I mean, how? It's not possible. After all, our lead character is caught in between, in the midst of a battle of heavenly proportions, and the bad boy at her school, the one that caught her eye, that seems to be present everywhere she goes, is also in the midst of this old drama. I mean, you've got your stereotypical teenage heroine that can't seem to make up her mind, and the mysterious bad boy she falls for. I mean, can we really talk about book elitism, like fucking book elitism, and not mention Hush Hush? Like, is it possible? Who knows? I might just pick it up soon. I mean, I did read City of Bones after all, did I not? And that is a perfect segue to the next book on my list, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, which is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series and the first book that gives us an inkling into the Shadowhunter universe. Now, I'm going to admit this book is not the best of Cassie's work. In fact, I don't even think the Mortal Instruments is the best series. I think that honor goes to the Dark Artificers. Yes, we can agree to disagree. You might choose any other book. You might say, oh, it's the Infernal Devices series. You might say it's the Mortal Instruments after all. That's your business. To me, it's the Dark Artificers. But say what you will about City of Bones, you know, and the writing of it, the quality, etc., etc. It is a pretty good introduction into the shadow world, you know, with the demons and the warlocks and the vampires and the sealies and the werewolves and the shadow hunters, this elite group of fighters whose job and responsibility it is to protect the mortal world, the mundane world, from the things that come over from the shadow world. And these warriors are descended from angels but still have the frailty and the weakness of humanity. And we follow our protagonist, Clare, who is drawn into this world by memories that lay dormant within her that start to awaken, and a secret birthright she had no idea was her legacy. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of this book at the start, of this world at the start, but the world grew on me, and now I'm absolutely 100%, 1000% obsessed. Please note that it took me about six books to get to this point. So yeah, there is that. And multiple series too. If you're wondering, you're like, what, hold up, 6 books, multiple series? How many books are in this world, in this universe? I will refer you to a video I made of the order in which to read the Shadowhunter books. You're welcome. Then there is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, a lot of people have opinions and thoughts about Sarah J. Maas, you know, about her books, about her characters, about her world building, about her writing. And everybody's entitled to their own opinions, just as it is my right to share with you that I should have my ass branded with Sarah J. Maas trash, because I am trash for some Sarah J. Maas. So I'm just saying. But I would like to state though that A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR is not my favorite. It's my least favorite book in the entire series. I think it picks up in A Court of Mist and Fury. Like, Akomath made this entire series worthwhile for me, and I've just been like sailing forward with it ever since. And A Court of Silver Flame is dropping in January 2021. My soul and my spleen are not ready. Like, they are not ready. But yes, for those that do not know what ACOTAR is about, in A Court of Thorns and Roses, we follow Farah Atron, a human girl with a family on the verge of starvation, and she's the one that hunts in order to feed her family. And she kills a wolf on one of these many trips in order to do so. But then the Lord of the Spring Court shows up, because it turns out that it was not a wolf she killed, but a shape-shifting fae. And he drags her over to the world of the fae. Romance ensues. There's mystery to be solved. Feyre is not the smartest in this book, and oh yeah, Tamlin is trash. Next up is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which has one of the tropiest trope to ever trope. I'm talking about the enemies to lovers trope, which is one of my favorite tropes ever. Very tropey, but I love it. Add the fact that these characters are working adults who dissolve, who disintegrate into childish shenanigans in order to one-up each other, unaware that beneath all of this lies sexual tension, chemistry, and attraction. And you have a romance novel I adore, but some people will consider trashy, others will consider cheesy, a few would consider tropey, and that is the reason why it's made this list. Now, for those of you that have no idea what The Hating Game is about, you have these two characters who work as PAs for twin CEOs of a publishing house, and when it is that a promotion is up for grabs, all the childish pranks that they've been doing all this while is ratcheted up to like 100 because they are really desperate to cinch the job and the opportunity to forever gloat, you know, over the other. And all that drama and all that tension, romance blossoms. Now, I've not hid it on my channel that Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo is one of my favorite books. It is bae, but for you to get the understanding, to be fully immersed in the world, I would suggest reading the series that is a setup for that one, and that is Shadow and Bone, which is tropey YA at its finest. I mean, we have the chosen one trope, we have the not like other girls trope, we have the oh my god, I don't think I'm attractive or pretty, and yet every single guy I meet falls in love with me trope. We have the I always thought I was powerless and I was just a human with absolutely no powers whatsoever, but turns out that within me lies the power to put me as one of the most powerful people in the world trope. We have the I have always been in love with my best friend and he never noticed me until someone else expressed interest in me, and all of a sudden now he's confessing his feelings trope. And we have the villain who we all want to screw our collective brains out, at least amongst the fans. The Darkling. So yeah, tropey YA works for this prompt. For those of you that have no idea what Shadow and Bone is about, in Shadow and Bone we follow Alina Starkov, often powerless until it is discovered that within her lies a power, a dormant power that is capable of repairing the rift spewing demons into her world. The question is, who will she trust on this journey of sealing the rift? Who would she end up with? Who would she give her love to? Because that is what we expect in books like this. And spoiler alert, it was not the person I wanted. So yeah, just putting it out there. Then there is Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead. Now, confession time, I have not yet read the Vampire Academy. I would like to state, let me rephrase that, I have not yet read it, which means I do plan to, because I am very intrigued by this story that follows this vampire princess who is mortal, and I'm over here like, is it possible for someone to be a vampire and mortal? Turns out that it is possible, and this princess can harness the power of the earth, which makes her, that combined with who she is, like, I repeat, mortal vampire, means that an elite group of warriors are after her in order to convert her, I guess, to full vampire. But what is standing in their way is her bestie, who is half human and half vampire, and these two have to be taken to the St. Vladimir Academy, which is the vampire academy, from which they have to be careful. They cannot let down their guard. They have to always watch their backs because they are still being hunted. Clearly, this book stands as the not like other girls, you know, book form in the YA vampire category. I am looking at you, Twilight. But anyway, as I was saying, I want to read this book. I am intrigued. If you've read Vampire Academy, drop down in the comments if you think I would enjoy it, because I think I would enjoy it. Like, I hope so. I intend to get to it sometime soon. And because I am currently on the vampire kick, next up is Dead Until Dark by Charlaine Iris, which is the first book in the Suki Stackhouse series. Now, I'm going to start this by, just bear with me. Suki! Suki! What can I say? Oh my god. Fucking as Bill in True Blood, the series. I hated every single time he came on screen. I was like, Suki! Like, the way he called her name grated on my nerves. So But Suki herself sometimes grated on my nerves, so it's understandable, but goddamn, the way Bill called her name, Suki! I have to stop saying Suki! Okay, fine. Seriously. But anyway, if you're in the mood for some trashy vampire paranormal romance, then pick up Dead Until Dark, which follows Suki. Suki is a waitress, a new boyfriend is a vampire, and when it is that one of our co-workers turns up dead, seems like there might be some vampire business drama. This entire series, classic. Another classic, Love Only Once by Johanna Lindsey. I mean, we cannot be talking trashy, cheesy books and not mention the OG queen, because I remember Johanna Lindsey. I remember reading the books. I remember the Stone Gas, because the covers that always have the half-naked men and the women that look like they're about to be ravished. It was scandalous. It's scandalous, but I lived for that. I lived for that. So yes, Love Only Once, which is the first book in the Mallory Anderson family saga series. In fact, that is the book that kicks off the series. You know, we have a British lady getting abducted by a devilishly handsome, they are always devilishly handsome in her books, a devilishly handsome rogue who, you know, as a result of that, taints her honor, and she's very insistent on him marrying her, even though, you know, his heart used to be closed, but now with her and her fiery spirit, his heart opens. It's tropey, it's cheesy, it works for this prompt. Another tropey, cheesy book. And we're talking about queens of tropey cheesy books, you know, tropey cheesy books, especially the time when they were writing it. Nora Roberts, Born in Fire, which is our first book in our Born in Fire trilogy, that gives us the archetypal, fiery Irish, I won't call her lass because this is contemporary, so woman, you know, who is scarred from love and who pours all her heart into her work, into her art. She's an artist. She makes sculptures, right? She makes glass sculptures that speak of her soul, even though she's very fiery and very, I won't call her mean-spirited, but she takes no shit, you know? And her heart is in her art. And this art is discovered by Rogan Sweeney, who runs a gallery and who sees her soul through her heart and is determined to not only push her into stardom, but also win her heart. I know, it's just, it gives me Taming of the Shrew vibes. So yeah, prepare for just several sprinklings of sexism, because we've come so far, haven't we? We've come so far. Come up. Next up is Paper Princess by Erin Watts, which is yet another YA series book I've not read yet, but I'm actually very intrigued, because you see, in this, we follow Ella Alper, who grew up in the slums, like with a flighty mother, and they are always struggling to make ends meet. But when her mother dies, she's plucked from the slums by millionaire turned benefactor Callum Royal, who drops her in his mansion with 5 of his sons, goes away and leaves her to acclimatize herself in this story that is a true grass to riches story. The only problem is that Reed Royal, one of the sons, is insistent that Harper does not belong to their world and does everything to kick her back to the slums where he thinks is where she belongs. And I'm over here like, wow, drama. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? Also, I have questions. Who is Callum Royal? How does he know her? How does he know Harper? Does he know her mother? Did he have an affair with her mother? Was her mother like his long lost love? And he was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. You didn't choose me, you married somebody else, but I shall do right by your daughter. Is that the story we are getting? Because I have questions, people. I have questions. Then there is Gossip Girl by Cicely Von Zigzer, which I already stated on my channel that I watched Gossip Girl the show. I love Gossip Girl the show. I have not yet read Gossip Girl the book, but some people are like, yo, the books are better. Some people are like, yo, the show is way better. So if it is that you've read the book and watched the show, please let me know down in the comments which one you think is best. But anyway, in this book, we follow teenagers living in the Upper East Side who have more money in their wallets than most of us have in our bank accounts, because they are really about their life, and we're following, you know, their loves, their dramas, their addiction, the debauchery that is the life they live, a life we all wish we live, but at the same time we're like, do we want all of that drama? I will say no. Can I just have all the money without any of the drama, please? Thank you. Another book I've not yet read is The Selection, which is the first book in the Selection series by Keira, which is marketed as the YA version of The Bachelor, which I used to watch that show, so I'm very much intrigued. But anyway, it's the YA version of The Bachelor. You have 35 girls, all of them competing for the heart of Prince Maxon. Part of this in this group of 35 girls is America. America does not want to marry any prince. She has somebody she loves. She would rather not be at this palace dealing with all this drama in order to win the heart of some prince. Until she meets said prince, of course. And then she realizes that, you know what, I might be able to settle down with the drama if it gets me this guy over here. So I'm like, does it sound tropey? Definitely. Does it sound predictable? Maybe. Will I love it? Most likely. Then there is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, which, see, when it is that, you know, your family just suddenly upends your life without giving you a heads up or any permission, I understand that feeling of frustration. So by extension, I understand what Anna must be going through, because you see, Anna, who had been looking forward to her senior year in Atlanta, suddenly is shipped off to boarding school in Paris. She is not about that life. She does not want to go to Paris. But when she gets to Paris, right, when she gets to this boarding school and meets Etienne St. Clair, who is smart and charming and gorgeous, she starts to fall for him. But see, Etienne is also taken with a very gorgeous girlfriend. Now, I'm wondering, does this mean that this entire book will be lots of longing stares and heavy sighs? Like, is Etienne trash? Is this book by extension trash? I don't know, but I want to find out. And finally, there is The Sheikh's Virgin Bride by Penny Jordan, which is, yes, just like the title says. And I just felt it most fitting to wrap up this entire recommendation for this prompt with this book, because what says trashy, tropey, cheesy like the OG Harlequin Presents novels? Like none. And in The Sheikh's Virgin Bride, we have Petra, who is betrothed to said sheikh, and who in an act of rebellion offers money to fellow hotel guest Blaise to pretend to be her lover, you know, except for the fact that it becomes real and Blaise ends up taking her virginity. I know, they are always virgins, isn't it? The old books. Anyway, it takes her virginity and it's revealed that Blaise is the sheikh, you know, the one she's been betrothed to. I know. What are the odds? What are the motherfucking chances? But that's the reason why books like this made the list, because really, what are the odds? But yeah, that is the last book in the last recommendation video for the 2020 Fuckathon. I am so happy that the reception for these recommendations videos has been so good. I'm happy that you all are loving the recommendations. Like I said, I would be updating the Google Docs as this video goes up, so you will definitely be seeing the changes. So I'm going to leave it linked in the description bar so you can check it out. Thank you so much for coming on this crazy ass ride with me, especially the last couple of videos that have been practically going up every day. Some of them have had 2 videos go up a day. Anyway, thank you for coming along with me. I sincerely hope we have a swell time with the Fuckathon. I have plans with regards engagement and stuff that I would be revealing later, so you all will see it, and I'm really excited. So happy Fuckathon, everybody. Next video should be my TBR, and I'm so excited for you all to see it. But that is this video. If you like this video though, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Subscribe if you want to, and if you do decide to subscribe, please click on that bell icon so you can know the minute I have a new video go up, because YouTube does not tell you. So click on that notification bell so you can know the minute I have a new video go up. I make new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays. I'm trying to set a time for it, so I think I might tentatively be working with 2 p.m. EST, that Eastern Standard Time, on Wednesdays and Sundays. So if I'm able to maintain that for the next 1 month, I think it would stick. So tentatively, Wednesdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. EST. I will see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.